And my name is Jennifer Duckworth, and I am the founder and CEO of Neighbor Foundations. And one of our departments that we give to the community is called Neighbor Foundations Kids Debate Club. As you can see, I am proudly wearing our t-shirt today, just so everybody knows that today is a debate day. Typically, the debates are on Monday nights at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. My husband last minute asked me to a office party, or else I would have been doing this on Monday. So you know how it is. You have to kind of adjust and make things work out for the sake of family. And so here we are today on Wednesday, and I'm glad that you guys took time out of your busy schedule to come see what this is all about. So let's get this party started. That's what I naturally say all the time with the kids. Okay, okay, you are a genius. Thank you. All right. So as you can see, this is my family. I have my husband. His name is Jeremy Duckworth, and we have been married for 16 years. And then I have my three wonderful children. This is an old picture. They are much more grown. My son is actually looking me in my face. He's 13. My first daughter, she's 11. She's like at my chin. And my youngest daughter, she's almost 9. She's at least at my chest. So this was the last family picture that we were able to grab. We are way overdue, but I've been homeschooling for 9 years. And the debate club started from just a need to connect with other members of our community because it started during the pandemic in 2020, and my children were going bonkers because they couldn't get out of the house. Uh, Contrary to most belief, homeschoolers do actually get out. We probably have the most busiest social calendar that you ever want to see. And so when the pandemic came, it was complete shift in our mindset that we could not go out and experience the world. And so we had been listening to a debate podcast, and I just said, hey, what if we just for the fun of it have a debate with our homeschool buddies via Zoom? Thank God for Zoom. And it was just so much fun. It was aliens versus robots. And of course, all we had was parents, and we begged the parents not to be biased of their children. And we just kind of went from there. The first year, we picked our topics, and we had members of the community start to come and judge, close friends and family that are not biased, come in. And then we were like, okay, we can do one better. And I started to incorporate classes because what was happening is there was always a group that was winning. And we all know why, because the parents were a little bit more involved, and the parents were a little bit more, in control of what was going on in the house. So the kids came prepared compared to some other kids that were not as prepared. And so I said, well, let's just make this an even playing field. And I brought teachers, highly certified teachers, to come in and talk about the different elements of debate. Some professors from college, and a lot of what I have built over the past 4 years has come from the different classes that we have been privileged to provide for our students, that are from professors that are saying, this is how you take notes. This is what debate is. This is how you come up with research. This is how you critically think. This is not just, my mom coming in and talking to them. These are real people who do this for a living, talking to our students. So you can imagine that by the time they get to each debate each month, they are highly prepared for this fun activity. Okay, this third year, I started to incorporate um, in-person field trips. So I'm trying to get to a point where my out-of-town people, because I service students in Arizona, in Maryland, in Huntsville, all over the country because this is virtual. So I want everybody to feel like they can participate. And so I'm getting there. This is a growing program. I'm very proud of it. We actually, as an organization, were asked to come to the first debate classic this in Birmingham, and it was so cool because and that's this picture up here at the top, and you see these two students right here at the top. They are debaters from Howard University, and they came here to Birmingham to debate debaters from, and that's these two over here, from Sanford University. And so I was called up and they were like, "Hey, Jennifer, we know you have a debate club. Would you like to come and see this actual scholarly event happen?" So people know we exist, and they want us to be a part of the things that are going on in the community. And so we were so excited that we actually got to see a real debate. And last year we went to the Capitol, and that was really fun of Alabama, because we didn't know this at the time, but we were actually able to sit in on the debate regarding the DEI bill that is so infamous in the universities. We got to sit in
That's
on
amazing.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was so funny
Did
because the
any of you
kids,
all I don't,
what was
I
that?
don't, I don't, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but just real quick, if you don't mind, I was wondering, did any of you all actually sign up, or the young people themselves, as residents of Alabama, sign up to speak out to the legislators around
Yeah.
them, the students, and how they felt it would impact their futures?
Well, you know what is funny that you asked? When I was booking this appointment before, it actually happened, they said, "Hey, do you want us to contact your representative of, whoever, whatever, municipality that they live in?" And I did offer that opportunity, but I think the families were a little bit scared and hesitant. However, when we got there, it wasn't just our organization. As you can imagine, there was a lot of different organizations that wanted to speak up and speak out. And so they got to see that. And then one of our students actually sat next to a senator, and she was just striking up a conversation with him and stuff like that. So it was definitely a wonderful opportunity. And what they were saying to me privately was, "Miss Duckworth, they're not listening to the other person. Miss Duckworth, they're not following the proper policies and procedures. You're supposed to have this, and this like we do. Why aren't they doing that? They're rambling, they're going off topic." So it was fun to see that they were actually listening and able to
Amazing.
see. Hmm?
I said that's amazing. I'll just share, really quickly. Professionally, that's the kind of work that we do at the Capitol in DC, and we've done similar work at the state capitol of Maryland and the state of Ohio. And our organization is looking forward to launching work here in Alabama in 2025. So I just, when you mentioned that, of course, my interest peaked because that's what we do professionally. My husband and I run our own nonprofit, and advocacy and policy is a huge part of that. And we're really proud, the work that we've been able to do in state law changes in both Ohio and Maryland because of our work. So we're happy, if there's any room for us to share more with other young people, particularly around the debate club, about that work and what we do, we'd be happy to share that if that's of any interest. But
Hey,
but thanks
look,
so much
don't
for sharing.
Don't tempt me now, because I'm real quick to ask for volunteers. And we do have some students that have graduated out of our program because they were finding, like, we like to keep it a real light and airy in this organization, just because, so we can really focus on the grassroots of debate, right? Like, because when you start getting into the hot topics, you get more focused on the emotion rather than actually like learning what it is we're here to do, and that's the actual elements of debate. And so now some of our older kids, they have found that they've got those foundations, and now they have ventured out into more political debate clubs, but I still have contact with them. So definitely some of them were interested in being pages in the at the Capitol, as you were asking. And so and some of them, like some of my families in Arizona, have been connected to our local judges here as part of a mentorship program. So I'm definitely willing to talk to you guys on another, another space where we can actually, make some things happen that I just couldn't imagine. It's all about the kids and their experience. So
Yeah,
thank you for that. Um,
absolutely.
so as we continue, see, I never knew. I thought y'all were cool people, and that's where I landed, right? So you never know who you're talking to. Okay, so our vision is a fun place for kids to disagree, and we service second graders to 10th graders. Now, the second graders are mature second graders, they're borderline third graders, and the 10th graders are, they're about to, leap into that junior life, but they still need those foundations. So that's why I kind of that sandbox is where I play in. And our mission is that we are a debate club that supports safety and academic growth through debate. And the learning process is this: the student will choose the debate topic and place it on, and then ask to be placed on a specific side. So, just an example, I'll say, hey, give me some topics that you all want to debate. And then I'll have a running list. It goes from salt versus pepper, pizza versus tacos, cupcakes versus cakes, things that, actually are fun to actually think about, but not too emotional. And then we vote on it. I send out a link for them to vote on. And then once those topics are voted on, they pick their side. And then after that, the student will proceed to do the research and follow the guideline that I give. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. Positive criticism is part of this course where there's always three judges for the teenagers, three judges for the elementary students. And I ask them to be honest, not mean, but to be honest, and so that the students can learn and come back better. And the judges usually score on using our scorecard that I have provided for them. The coaches that are in place, they will help the students get their thoughts together, because everybody has this different research. And what we were running into in the past was that everybody started saying the same thing, but it was not diverse in thought, right? Because we hadn't really had a chance to really come together and form one voice. And so that's what the coaches are there to do. And then the judges provide that positive feedback. And of course, I'm there the whole time, just kind of guiding them. And we do have a way for the students to talk to each other, which I'll talk about in a minute. See this little heart? It's heart because it's very close to my heart. Parents, this is not a drop-off program where you say, okay, go teach my kid, I'll come back. I've been there, done that, and it didn't work out for the student because it's so much that they're taking in. And yes, you want to teach them responsibility. That's the parent's job, but in all honesty, I ask that the parents be involved in this process in between the classes. We meet one Monday a week. So between Monday to Monday, they have to do this stuff on their own. And yes, I'm here to, support, but really and truly, they need to be learning how to self-navigate. But parents, you got to really kind of make sure that they get the work done, or else they're going to come back unprepared and miss what they need, right? And so it's like if you come back to the coach and you say, "Oh no, I didn't practice." What work? How can we build from that, right? So this is a community process. It's not like all on Jennifer. It's everybody's has hands on deck, okay? And so with that being said, I do have a curriculum that I provide, and I will send this out to those who choose to participate, but it's a workbook and it has everything that's needed in it. And every time, every email that I send out, I always reference the workbook. Hey, look on page this, look on page that, look on page this. So parents, if you're ever like, where is it again? I make sure that I give you that information. What will they be learning? Writing skills, how to write a persuasive essay, also how to take notes. They'll be learning how to engage with team. It really helps if they actually just try to engage with the team, right? Just try. You don't have to be perfect, but just try because each team has thoughts. Now, the new people are coming into a very well-oiled machine, or these students who have been here since the fall and some have been here prior to this, they are very talkative, they are very open, and they are very serious about this debate club. So really, I encourage you to think about, is this the best for your child? You may have all the greatest intentions, but if your child is really not truly interested in this, it's going to be a hard road because we have high expectation for their participation, and we have high expectation for them to try, because I'm gonna challenge them to do better than what they're used to. And if this is something that they're not ready to receive, then we want to make sure that it's a win-win for everyone, okay? And then obviously they'll have organization skills, study skills, and critical thinking skills, which is all part of the debate. Okay? Um, so here we are. This is my staff. I love my staff. They were God sent to me. And so I have myself as the facilitator, but then I have Dr. Nikovana Shannon and Mr. Rod Bradley as our coaches. They have given so much of their time to these students, just pouring into them each month. And then we have Skylar Anderson, who is my co-facilitator since I have two debates going on at the same time at the end of the month. Okay. And she is wonderful. She's a behavior therapist, so she understands how a child works and the development process. So everybody on this team is here to help, and if somebody's having a bad day, we know how to deal with it. And so it's just a really, really positive environment with this staff. Okay. All right. So, what does our schedule typically look like? Debate season, all of it's virtual, with the exception of in-person field trip. We've already taken that this year, and so I tried to make sure that all my spring people knew about it, so they had the opportunity to come, even though it was in the winter. It was back in October. And then it's on Zoom. That's the platform that I use. So make sure that you have a Zoom account for your student. And it doesn't have to be like, business level. It could be the free account, just as long as they have Zoom. Topics are voted on by the students. This is not Jennifer's debate club. This is the kids' debate club. Debate classes, we have a guest teacher that comes in and they will discuss and they will listen and they will answer questions. We have debate coaching where the coaches will review all the research that has been done and help them come up with one voice as a team. And then we have the debate day. This is at the end of each month, 45 minutes to an hour, where the kids actually debate each other. We always stress we're not debating each other, we're debating the topic and the facts. So it takes out emotions as best as possible, and it teaches them how to have a civil argument with a peer without getting over emotional, as we see on the news. Okay, emotions aren't bad. It just doesn't help when when you're not getting anything done. Okay. And so then this will be our schedule for January. We typically, for this, because it's the beginning of the semester, we're going to have a review with the parents just to make sure y'all are connected to everything and you know how to navigate through all of our tools. Because it can get a little confusing because I'm shooting emails out at you and then I'm saying, hey, check your app for the dates. And then, hey, the kids need to be on the app and talking to each other. So as long as you understand what's going on, there will be no confusion and then you'll know who to contact if you are confused. Okay, January 13th, we'll have a teaching. The 20th is the coaching session, and the 27th is our first debate of the second semester. And I'll have this posted so no one forgets, but always check the tools that we have just so you know you're not left behind. Before I move forward, are there any questions so far? I know I'm starting to kind of move a little bit quicker.
I had a couple.
Okay.
So as far as this slide that you have up right now, that the Zoom starts at 6:30 p.m., how long does it typically last?
45 minutes to an hour. Just depends on how many questions the students have for the teacher. And the coaching sessions can kind of like cut it to the very last second of the hour because the students get so involved with sharing their opinions and stuff with the coaches.
We
So I
love.
usually say 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. And second question, in regards to the note taking, so I have an almost 7-year-old, and so we've been talking about debate club and all of the components of such
Mhm.
lately. And so I pulled
Mhm.
up some videos like Cornell has a video for kids on note taking. And so we kind of went through those today. He kind of gave me some
Sure.
mock notes. But do you guys, is that something like an idea of note taking or to some level a comfortability with note taking before they begin this?
Well, I think the level that I'm expecting them to come into is to have a maturity of listening and then also a maturity of trying to take notes. So my youngest, she came in after watching her older siblings, like my son and my daughter, be in debate for a couple of years, and she came in with, just a very basic handwriting skills, and she was as slow as a sloth when taking notes, right? And uh-oh, we just kind of continue to work with her. The thing
Hmm.
that I always tell the littles is that this is recorded. So mom and dad can definitely take this recording and go back and work with you on, some things that you hear and take your time because it does go fast. We're at a middle school level. And so we've had students that, they were just barely holding on, and now they can be in the debate room by themselves because they've been trained, so it's all part of the process.
Okay. And that's it for me.
Yeah, and I'm always, I'm a teacher at heart, so I'm always saying, hey, make sure you're taking your notes, make sure you're taking your notes, and if you miss something, this is recorded so they don't feel like, oh my goodness, it's over you know but yes, we're always talking about notes. Okay, any other questions before I move on? I'm looking in the chat. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna thank you for that question. That's really good. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving on. Okay. So now we have the items that are needed. As you can see, you're gonna have to have a Zoom account. If you have siblings, then you're gonna have to have you can work on one throughout the month, like for the review and for the classes. But when it comes to the coaching session, let's just say you have two children and they're on opposite teams. Then you're going to need two different computers and two different accounts so that they can be able to go into the breakout rooms and talk with the coaches at the, different rooms. And then for the debate, obviously they're not going to be on the same computer, and because you don't want somebody looking at your notes and being able to say, oh, I see what they're saying. We want to keep it fair. So that's how that works. And then I'm using Spaces. It's a app that comes with Wix, that I have my website through. And so it's important for you to get familiar with the app, as well as I learned that you can also, the desktop is actually my website. So if you want to let your children be more independent and not like getting on your phone to check the app, they can easily go on my website and log in with the same information that you put in for the app, and get on the desktop and talk with their teammates. Okay, so that's something that we'll walk through. And then they will need to have three notebooks. It's really three ways of taking notes: one for the debate class, one for the coaching, and one for actual debate. That's just me putting everything in its own space. But if they know how to take Cornell notes or whatever, and they understand how to, organize their own notes where they don't get lost along the way, that's up to them. But I've had more success when people have different notebooks so that it's not all jumbled up together. Okay. And you can use a tablet. I'm old school. I like my paper and pencil, but these new school children, they like to be on their tablets. They know more about it. I'm not opposed to that. And then during the debate, they're going to be asked to bring a micro round, like an object of proof, and we'll talk about that later. But those are the things that you definitely want to make sure you have access to for this class. And a very good working computer so that you can be able to talk to your coaches and during the debate and be able to be seen. Everybody gets a shirt like this during the debate. That's part of it. So that's not something you got to worry about. All right, here's some examples of the debate. I encourage that you let your children watch this. Just so this is the teens, and this is the elementary. It just gives them an idea of what they're walking into. I've had some parents that say, "Oh, they love it," and those have been my best debaters because they're really just guiding themselves. But if you have somebody that's like, I don't know why I'm here, then that's not going to be the best result for the investment that you put into. Okay. Then again, these are our shirts. I kind of like it because it says resolved. Neighbor Foundation Kids Debate Club is the best. It's a fun place to disagree. So this is our shirt for this year, and you can see we've already been rocking it in Birmingham. But every debate that they have, not every class, but every debate is like their uniform to formulate unity. I've asked that they wear it. Okay. So you say, okay, this is all great. How much will it cost me? Okay, $60 per student per month, right? And because I understand the struggle of having multiple children, I offer a siblings discount, and there is a scholarship available. Praise the Lord, I was able to have a generous donation given to my organization so that I can offer one scholarship for the spring. And here is the QR code for the application. I ask that you get that stuff to me by January 1st. So you still have some time to talk to your teachers about, what kind of stuff that I asked for, like, uh, grades and stuff like that. You'll see it, but it's just enough time for you to get that together, but it doesn't impede on our time to start. Okay. And then, does everybody have that code? Can I give me a thumbs up if I can move to the next slide? Okay. All right. Thank you. And so then our last thing is the next steps. The next steps are such: get registered. Let's get started. Okay. This is your registration code. It will allow you to register. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. Some of you have my phone. You can text me or call me. If you have any additional questions, like after the meeting is over, and then we will start our season on January 6th, fresh off the boat from a brand new 2025 school year. And again, don't be intimidated by the other students who have been working since the fall and before then. Everyone is usually nice to each other, very encouraging. There are videos on my website to help you catch up. And it's really a very fun place to disagree. I am not your person that's going to be yelling at you. I'm going to challenge you, but I'm not going to expect perfection. I'm just going to expect you to put forth an effort. Okay, that's all I ask. Okay, so that is it. Any questions before we shut it down for tonight?
I just want to say how much I thank you, really, truly. My husband and I have just felt really blessed to have found you. And because I told, my husband, I was like, listen, I know my people, there are Black people here, there are Black people I know who are educators who we have to find them. We know that they love our children and they care about their education. And because we just had such a hard time finding the right fit for our daughter since moving here from Maryland. And I just kept going online and finally found you.
Aw.
Just through a search and just anyway, you just have been a blessing to our family, and I'm just so, really grateful for you, honestly, and your leadership of your family. It's beautiful and it's amazing. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. You're gonna make me cry before Christmas rolls around. Thank you so much. But I do appreciate that for real, because I do love the children. My business therapist and she was like, people will be able to tell that you want to just help the children, and that's really the goal, is to help the children. This came out of helping my own children, and I don't know if you guys have ever read the book Acres of Diamonds. It's a really small book, but it's packed with a lot of just principles, and it's talking about, if your neighbor is doing something, and most likely your other neighbors will probably want the same thing. And so that's the goal, to create this space where this is what we teach our children. So when you meet our children, they will straight up tell you, yes, our parents, like, they are teaching us this same stuff. So, we just want to put it out there so that everyone else can have a fair chance at success. And so I thank you for your time, and I am so excited. I hope you guys decide to go on this journey with us. Text me, whatever you got to do if you got questions.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks so
You're welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.